Hey guys, today we're going to do the unboxing and give you guys my impressions of the ThieAudio Monarch MKII. So these are high-end IEMs. So IEMs, for those of you who don't know, stands for in-ear monitors. So you can think of them as a very expensive earphones essentially. They're much more complicated than typical earphones. They contain a bunch of drivers inside and they can cost thousands of dollars. This one cost $1,000. So yeah, they're just very high-end. Comparable to a high-end headphone, except these ones are for inside your ear. So yeah, generally they block out noise fairly well with passive noise isolation. So they don't have any, I don't think any IEMs really have any active noise cancellation or anything like that. That's the kind of technologies you'll see on more mainstream earphones or wireless earbuds and stuff like that. But as far as I know, IEMs are more catered towards the audiophile crowd, people who are willing to pay more amounts of money. They don't care as much about the active noise cancellation and Bluetooth and stuff like that. That's for features for the mainstream crowd. Audiophiles care about one thing only, and that's audio quality. So really, IEMs are generally catered to the high-end market. The audiophile crowd, they don't care about all these extra features. They just want the best sound. So put a bunch of drivers inside these shells basically, and yeah, that's all they're focused on, putting a lot of drivers inside and making sure that they sound the best as they can, and then people will pay lots of money for it. I think my most expensive IEM I bought so far was the Noble Cons, which I did a video on a few months back. That cost, oh, I don't know, almost $2,000. So that's pretty crazy. Now these ones aren't quite as expensive, about $1,000, and they're made by a Chinese company called ThieAudio. For those of you who don't know, ThieAudio is not like a mainstream brand, but it is a brand that maybe audiophiles would know, because it is Linsol's kind of house brand, I would say. It's kind of their own brand for Linsol. So Linsol is a Chinese company that has a website that sells a bunch of audio products. They sell headphones, IEMs, audio players, amps, DACs, audio cables, stuff like that. I usually buy most of my audio equipment actually from Linsol. So I bought my Tansa Murray IEMs that I did a video on last year. I bought those from Linsol. My Shanley UA1 and UA2 DACs were bought from Linsol. So I actually do most of my audio file shopping, I would say, on Linsol. And so this is kind of their brand, ThieAudio. They make IEMs as well. And they have a few very popular models. So the Monarch is definitely their most popular model, I think. And now this is the second iteration, Mark II. I think this is much more expensive than the previous one. I think the previous one was about like maybe $600. This one's $1,000, so it's quite a bit more expensive than the first generation, but it's also, of course, should be better, an improved iteration, of course. And they also have even higher end ones, such as the Voyager 14. I believe ThieAudio's flagship IEM right now is the V16 Divinity, which costs $1,500 US. So that's actually quite a lot of money for Chinese IEMs. Usually Chinese audio companies give you a lot of bang for the buck, and I'm sure this one does as well, but that doesn't mean that they're inexpensive. So yeah, this one's still $1,000. It might still give you bang for the buck. It might be even better than my Noble Cons, which cost almost $2,000. So in that sense, it's still a bang for the buck. It's just still not cheap though. So yeah, what's special about the Monarch Mark IIs? Well, 10mm dynamic driver, Sonia Now's balanced armatures, Sonia electrostatics. So keep in mind, I think I unboxed and I did an impressions video on the Aston and Kern Campfire Audio Solaris X's, which are around the same price. Actually, no, they're actually more expensive. I got them for around the same price. But yeah, they were more expensive, and I think these ones contain much more technology than those ones do. So this is a tri-grid IEM, has 1 dynamic driver, 6 balanced armature, 2 electrostatics. So just on the technology alone, this has more technology than the Aston Kern Solaris X, which I paid more money for than this, and actually I think it has more technology than my Noble Cons as well. My Noble Cons has a piezoelectric driver, which are basically electrostatics. I think it's about the same technology as the Noble Cons, and those ones cost almost $2,000, like I said. So yeah, this could still be a pretty good deal for the money. Anyways, it's enough talk about the specs and the background behind ThieAudio and the Monarch Mark IIs. We'll just get around to this. Yeah, design manufactured by ThieAudio, made in China. Anyways, you can see the whole driver configuration here. 10mm dynamics, you got 2 electrostatics, 6 balanced armature, the impedance, sensitivity, frequency, response. It comes with 26 AWG, OCC. Okay, and it should come with the 2-pin connector. I believe ThieAudio uses the 2-pin connector. Oh, you can see the rest of their stuff. They even have a custom version. So they have a unit. This is the universal version, of course, unless you want to get custom ear molds and stuff like that. Once you get custom ear molds, though, those are really probably going to be the best fit. But they're also a lot more in depth. You have to go to your I forget what they are called, but then audiologist or earologist or something. Get your ear impressions and then send it to the company so that they can make you an ear mold, so you can get the best fit for your ear. But yeah, this is a bigger box than I expected too. Didn't expect this big of a box for Chinese IEMs. All right, here we go. ThieAudio. This is my first experience with this company. I actually was looking at some of their other offerings. Like, I was overlooking at the original Monarch and the Voyager 14s, and then they came out with this new model, the Monarch Mark IIs, which actually got pretty stellar reviews so far online, so I had to check them out. And this one took a while to ship too, because they're made by hand right now, I think. So this one took like 6 weeks after I ordered it to actually ship, because they're making them by hand. So, oh, how do I open this? Oh, maybe it's like here. All right, ooh, look at this. So we got a nice cleaning cloth right here that's branded. And then got a carrying case. A pretty nice carrying case. Wonder how many ear tips this comes with. So this is looks like a bunch of silicone tips. I'm thinking it'll come with okay, comes with foam. It should come with foam and silicone. Usually silicone is going to be the preferable choice. I mean, some people do like foam for the noise isolation, but it does impart a more bass heavy sound usually. So yeah, these are the foam tips it comes with. Not that many sizes, usually the standard small, medium, large silicone tips. Here we go. Silicone tips right there. And then these are foam tips. Yep. So of course they give you foam and silicone tips. Depends if you want more sound isolation or passive sound isolation, you might go with the foam tips, but they will add a little bit more bass. They're not going to be as balanced as the silicone tips are. And then this one is the adapters, I believe. Gives you 3 adapters, it looks like. Man, oh, these look pretty heavy duty. Pretty heavy duty adapters. Oh, look at this, they give you all 3. And they come with a special connector types, looks like. Alright, so I'm guessing one is 2.5 millimeter. 2.5 millimeter is the standard that's used by a lot of DAPs that are kind of older, I would say. So like Astell and Kern is probably the most prominent example. Astell and Kern kind of made 2.5 millimeter popular, but 2.5 millimeter is on a lot of DAPs, but usually the older ones, because the newer ones all transition to 4.4 Pentacon. So the 4.4 Pentacon is actually used by pretty much all new DAPs nowadays. Yeah, and even the Astell and Kern switched to 4.4. So I'd say unless you're using old DAP, you probably won't need the 2.5 millimeter. Like I have my Astell and Kern SC100, which still uses 2.5 because it's an older DAP from a few years ago. So that would need 2.5. 4.4 is probably the one that you would be using if you have a newer DAP. It's pretty popular nowadays, more so than 2.5 because it's more durable. And then you have 3.5, which is the standard for pretty much all the consumer devices that still have headphone jacks. So yeah, that's normal. All right, interesting. So that is the case. Pretty nice. It comes with a decent amount of extras, not too much, but a decent amount. I think the most ear tips I've got are still from Monster Audio, surprisingly. When I unboxed my Monster Gratitude earphones, those pair of earphones were like 30 bucks or 40 bucks. Not that expensive, but it came with a whole bunch of ear tips, the most I've ever seen. So yes, so far I've gone through Noble Cons, you know, these ones, the Campfires, like I paid 2,000 bucks and I don't see even as close to amount of a variety of ear tips as I got with the $30, $40 Monster Gratitudes, which is kind of weird. You would think that you pay this much money, you would get more ear tips, but no. Alright, and here are the IEMs itself. So this is a very, very nice cable. Look how braided that is. I mean, this is thick. Thick braided cable that ends in a special connector too. Very interesting. Special connector. Okay, now I also have the Linsol Nymph cables, which I could use as well, but these look like really nice high-end cables that it comes with. I mean, this special connector, that the fact that you can connect whatever you want, like 2.5, 4.4, 3.5 is really, really cool. More companies should do this. Like, can you imagine, like, if you sell this cable separately from the bigger Western companies, how much it would charge? Wow. You know, all these cable companies in audio, they charge so much money for just this stuff. But ThieAudio gives it to you just out of the box. A cable that lets you interchange 2.5, 3.5, and 4.4 millimeter. How cool is that? And then the IEMs itself, I actually have to take this out. There we go. All right. All right. Oh, yeah, look at this. Okay. Yep. I mean, like I said, this took like 6 weeks for them to ship out. So they actually, I think, hand make these in China. So ThieAudio, this looks beautiful though. I mean, look at the design. Wow. I think they might look better than the Noble Cons that I have. Even though the Noble Cons are like twice the price of these look really, really nice. Wow, just look at the design of those. Yep, Monarch Mark II, and yes, they do use 2-pin connectors, right? Yep, they use 2-pin connectors. So that means you can use any 2-pin cable with them. I might stick with these cables, or I might go with the Linsol Nymphs that I bought last year. Still not sure yet, but they're 2-pin connectors. These cables are just cool. I mean, you can just stick any connector onto them. That's the thing that's really interesting about this cable. I might just keep this cable. The fact that you can stick any connector onto them, that's really cool without needing to buy a separate adapter. Right now I have to use a 4.4 millimeter adapter for my, I'm gonna try this out with my High BR6s. This is the adapter that I have currently. But yeah, it only takes in 3.5 and 4.4, right? And of course I want the 4.4 because I want the balanced for more power. But then I don't have a cable with 4.4, so I have to use an adapter. But with this one, don't need an adapter. I just stick the 4.4 millimeter end onto that, and it works. Okay, cool. These, yeah, so 6 balanced armature drivers, 2 electrostatic, 1 dynamic driver. That sounds like a great combination. And for $1,000, I mean, it's expensive, but it's not the most expensive IEMs you can get. That's far from it. So these could actually punch way above their weight. Like, it could possibly be better sounding than my Noble Cons, which are so far the best IEMs I've ever heard. But then again, those cost almost $2,000. So yeah, if these IEMs sound as good as $2,000 IEMs from a Western company, then you know, that's a pretty good deal actually. So yeah, I mean, just look how, I can tell from this, the shell already, it looks really, really nice. I mean, probably better than the Noble Cons I have, and we're already at double the price. So really nice pair of IEMs just from the appearance alone, and then the cable's really special as well. I'm really impressed about that. So that's it. Alright guys, so these are my Noble Cons. These ones I paid almost $2,000 US for, and that's a lot of money. I mean, I know the Noble Cons they're pretty good IEMs. I mean, they're probably the best I've heard so far, and they should be for the price. And I'm sure a lot of people love Noble Audio's IEMs, and they're great. But just the price that you pay for them is you know, it's crazy. And you can tell, look at just the craftsmanship on the Noble Cons are nice. I mean, obviously they're good IEMs, and they're well built, and they're handmade right in the US and stuff, so that's part of the cost. But these are almost $2,000 US. These ones are $1,000, right? And you can tell, I think these ones might, you know, they look like they have even more craftsmanship, even though they're like half the price. So these are the Noble Cons, $2,000. Again, I can't say anything about the sound yet because I haven't tested them out, but just from the appearance, these are $2,000, and I mean, they're nicely built and stuff, but just, wow, a lot of money. And these ones are $1,000, half the price, and they look even better in my eyes, and they're made in China. So just from the yeah, from first glance, I mean, I'll have to look at the sound though. I'll have to, of course the sound is what matters at the end, but just from the the appearance, I can tell that the Monarch Mark IIs are pretty nice. Yeah, they definitely look like they have a lot of craftsmanship put into the build. So pretty cool. So after trying out the ThieAudio Monarch Mark IIs and the Noble Cons, just alternating them for about a week, I think I give you guys my impressions. So the ThieAudio Monarch Mark IIs, these are probably the best IEMs I've ever tried for the price. So these are around $1,000 MSRP, and I think these are the best IEMs around that price. And I haven't tried like too many IEMs yet. I guess the closest comparison I have around this price are the Astell & Kern Campfire Audio Solaris X's, which I did a video on last year. Those had the MSRP $1,500. I bought it for around $1,200, so it's actually more than $1,000. So they're more than this, but actually I like these better. So for the ThieAudio Monarch Mark IIs, the treble is pretty nice. It's just a little bit, I think a little bit recessed, but not as much as the AK Solaris X. The mids are very nice. I think the mids on this is well balanced. It's not too forward. The bass is pushed up a little bit, but in a way that I think most people would enjoy. It's not like, you know, catering to bass heads or anything like that, so it's not overdone, but it's pushed up a bit more than normal. So just be aware of that. This does have a little bit of a bass extension. I think the soundstage is nice, detail retrieval, clarity, that's all done really well. So I think the ThieAudio Monarch Mark II, it's pretty nice. It's probably my favorite IEMs in this price range, like I said, and I would prefer it to the AK Campfire Audio Solaris X, which retailed for $500 more. So that just shows you it's already punching above its price range compared to those brands. But let's compare it to Noble Audio Cons. Now, Noble Audio Cons, I said in my video review a year ago, these are probably the best IEMs I've ever had. Like, they're also the most expensive by far. I mean, I paid what, $1,700 for these, and that was on sale. Like, they retail for $2,400. So these are crazy expensive, but they're also the best IEMs I ever tried. Me and my friend both tried them. Yeah, they're just well balanced across all areas. Like, there's I haven't tried, like, you know, really expensive IEMs yet, like the I mean, these are really expensive, but there's also $3,000, $4,000 IEMs, believe it or not. From 64 Audio, I got the TF Fortes, the Empire Ears, Odin or Legend X, the JH Audio Layla Aeons, the high-end Shure electrostatic ones. I think they're called the KSC 1200s. Never got to try those. Those would be interesting. Oh yeah, and these aren't even Noble Audio's top-end IEMs. They have the Sultans as well, which I've never tried. Sony IR Z1Rs, I haven't tried those yet either, but I can say that for my experience out of the IEMs I've tried, the Noble Cons are the best ones I've tried so far. Yeah, like in my video, I already said, like, everything's balanced on these IEMs. The trebles are well balanced. It's not too much, not too little. It's not overextended. It's not recessed. Same thing with the bass, not overextended, not recessed. The mids are just pushed up a little bit, but done very tastefully. So it's not too prominent. Soundstage, clarity, detail retrieval, everything perfect with the Noble Cons. So the ThieAudio Monarch Mark IIs, does it beat the Noble Cons? No, it does not. I mean, the Noble Cons are, you know, they're still better, but I mean, these are like over double the price, right? So I have to give ThieAudio credit because they, like I said, these IEMs are probably the best for the price range that I've heard so far. For $1,000, they can beat some $1,500 IEMs, but these are $2,400 IEMs, so they're not quite at that level yet. I mean, the Noble Cons trebles I like better. The trebles on the Noble Cons are, for me, perfect. I think the Monarch Mark II's trebles are just a little bit recessed. Like, I would like for the trebles to be pushed up just a little bit more. That'd be good. I mean, the mids are fine, but I think the Noble Cons might have a little bit more detail on the mids, just a little bit more. And the bass is pushed up a little bit more on the Monarch Mark II's. So the bass on the Noble Cons are just, for me, like I said, perfect, well balanced, not too much, not too little. I think the Monarch Mark II's bass might be pushed up just a little bit more, but again, most people will enjoy it. It's not like for bass heads or anything like that. It's not too prominent. Yeah, it's not anything crazy, but it will be pushed up more than on the Noble Cons. I do feel like the Noble Cons are probably the most well-balanced IEMs I've tried. So yeah, the bass is pushed up just a little bit on the Monarch Mark II's, and it is noticeable. As for soundstage, very comparable. Detail retrieval, very comparable, except I think the mids on the Noble Cons are a bit more detailed, but very, very close on the Monarch Mark IIs. Clarity, very, very close. So yeah, I would say that the Monarch Mark IIs, you have maybe 90% of the clarity, 90% of the detail retrieval. Soundstage, again, I think that's pretty much a wash. And then I wish the bass is pretty good on the Monarch Mark II. It's just pushed up a little bit more than on the cons, and that's definitely noticeable. Trebles are a little bit recessed. It's a little bit better on the cons. Mids a little bit more detailed on the cons. So that, I would say that's the main differences. So no, overall the cons are still better, but for $1,000, you know, over less than half the price of the Noble cons, I think the ThieAudio Monarch Mark IIs are very solid. Easily the second best IEMs I've tried. So after the cons, you know, I've tried the AK Solaris X's. I've also tried the Tansium Ray Lands. ThieAudio Monarch Mark IIs are the second best IEMs I've ever tried, easily. So yeah, very good job ThieAudio. I would like to experience more IEMs from them in the future. I wonder what their top end one, the Divinity V16, is like. I'm interested in that because this isn't really their top end IEM at all. They have the Voyager 14 and the Divinity V16, so I'll definitely be interested in trying some of that out, maybe sometime in the future. But yeah, I think the Monarch Mark IIs are very, very solid for the price. $1,000. So far, the best IEMs I've tried in this price range. I mean, you can compare it to any GH Audio, Empire Ears, West Tone, Shure, yeah, Noble, like anything in this price range. 64 Audio as well. Like, you can compare it to a lot of different brands. I think that the ThieAudio would definitely hold their own. So yeah, don't just dismiss it because it's a Chinese hi-fi brand. It's from Linsol, you know, which a lot of people outside of the hi-fi community have probably never heard of. Like, very, very solid IEMs, especially for the price. So that's it. And of course, I tried both IEMs on my Hy-Vee RS6s. That was my DAP of choice for testing these, using silicone tips for both. Oh yeah, and also the cables here, just be aware, I mean, it does come with a really nice set of cables, but I already have a pair of Linsol Nymph cables, which use the 2-pin connector, so that's what I used for these. So that's a modification that that I actually put. I didn't use the stock cables, although I think the stock cables are pretty nice. But yeah, I use my own here, and you can use any standard 2-pin cable connector with these. So yeah, that's it, guys. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If you're interested in trying out the ThieAudio Monarch Mark IIs or planning on buying one, or if you've already tried one and you have some opinion to add, if you disagree or agree with my my impressions of it, let me know. And that's it. As always, thanks for watching. How's the IEMs?
It's good. It's good. It's actually really good.
Yep.
I can't pinpoint something though.
I think it's very well balanced. A lot of detail, right?
Overall, the balance is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's just something. I'm not sure is the bass just a little bit too strong, or do the mids? The mids sound a little bit thin in some parts of the mid. Maybe it's the upper mids that sounds thin, or lower mids. I'm not too sure. The mids sound a little bit thin to me in certain parts, but they don't sound like that bad, and they don't sound that recessed. I think the mid or the low mids are a little bit thin.
I don't think anything's too pushed up or too recessed. So I mean,
like what I hear is like the upper mids are very prominent.
Yep.
So when I hear the guitars or the voice, everything sounds a bit more high pitched in the mids. So the mids sound high pitched, and the upper mids are a little bit forward, but then the mid and the lower mids seems like it's a little bit thin. So that's why when people are singing, they sound a little bit high pitched. The guitars sound high pitched too a little bit. That's the only thing. And then the bass though, it's not bad. Probably a touch of bass boost, but not too bad. Still okay. Yeah, but overall, yeah, they're nice. Yeah, too bad we don't have the Nobles anymore to do AB. That would have been really interesting.
I did when I bought them. I AB'd them, and I felt like the Nobles are like. I think the mid range on the Nobles was better.
I think so.
The mids on the Nobles are better, but they're not so much better that I would pay. Like, there's a huge difference in them in price. But Noble's like double the price, so it's not like that much better where it's like worth double the price, right? Yeah. So that's why I decided to keep these ones.
Yeah, I do recall when I was listening to Nobles, I think I was more impressed with the Nobles. Like just my impression, but I don't remember what they sound like anymore. But I just remember my impression was like, oh yeah,
They should be. They're really expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think for this price, it's fine. I mean, like I said, it comes close enough to the Nobles for me. So like, yeah.
Let me compare it to my FLC8 a little bit. I'll do it back and forth with the FLC8s. Yeah, but I think like for me, like that's where I'm kind of torn, because if I'm going to be going to a point where I'm paying $1,000 for a pair of IEMs, honestly, to me it better be end game, you know, for $1,000 for a pair of IEM. Like I know like Nobles 2,000 something, but I don't see like why some company that, you know, is not like a rip-off Western brand, you know, can't do something close to that for $1,000.
I think these are one of the best IEMs for $1,000 at this price range.
Yeah.
I mean, the campfires. We tried the campfires before. That was $1,000.
Yeah, well,
but these are way better than the campfires.
Campfires are Western brand, though, right? So I mean.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like at this price, this is really good. Like compared to any Western brand, I'm around $1,000.
Compared to Western brand, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I think I would say I would believe a Chinese brand $1,000 US should be able to do something like a Noble. Yeah, like this is like this is good, but I remember I think I was more impressed with the Nobles a little bit. This is still good though. But the mix just sounds.
Well, with Chinese spec, we will give you good value, but it's not gonna, you know, Noble's like a $2,500 IEM, so it's. There's still some limit though to that. and plus, like even Chinese companies still got to make money, right? So
I'm sure they
still got even higher end stuff than this.
Yeah, I'm at $1,000 per pair of IEMs. I'm sure they're making money, no matter what sound quality they give you. Honestly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean this is not their top end model though. ThieAudio actually has an even higher one, but this is considered the one that's pretty good for $1,000 is probably one of the best IEMs at that price. Now, even among Chinese IEMs, I'll compare it to any other Chinese IEM. This is still pretty good.
They're nice.
Yeah.
But it still goes back to show how crazy good these FLC8s are. That's the thing. Like, I wouldn't honestly know if I would say that these are even better than these. That's the thing.
Crazy. Okay.
It's crazy. Like the drums here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta try because then. Yeah, I gotta double check again. Like I wouldn't like just listen. Oh yeah, they're better. Like I would think actually it's just slightly different sounds like a chirp in terms of detail and everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all comparable. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. And this one, like the bass isn't as the bass is a little bit more out boosted on the Thies, but these ones already have a little bit stronger bass than usual, right? Just a touch.
Okay.
And these ones, it seems like the mids are a little bit more full. Like it doesn't mean that it's not recessed though on the Thies, but it's just that it seems like on the Thies it sounds a little bit grainy sometimes, and it's a bit more higher pitched. I find the mids, whereas this one's a bit more of a full type of mid. So yeah, it's just a little bit different.
So is there anything missing from that then? It seems like there's nothing missing from that.
With the Thies, I find it's the bass that's a little bit elevated, so it's a little bit boomy, and then the mids they're not recessed, but the mid or the lower mids are just a little bit thin, whereas the upper mids are a little bit more higher, and it's the upper mids that are a bit more forward. That's what we're hearing most of the time. So the upper mids, so the mids just end up sounding, it's forward, but it's a little bit high pitched, and the treble seems a little bit maybe rolled off a little bit, like just by a touch, from what I can tell. So just a touch.
So is there anything missing from your FLCs then? It seems like you just prefer that sound signature.
You see, that's the thing. The FLC8S, I find the FLC8S just sounds a little bit more like overall balanced, like across the board.
Okay.
So, I mean, the Thies are pretty good. Compared to like my FLC8s, I think the Thies, really the biggest noticeable difference is the bass is a little bit stronger on the Thies.
Yep.
More boomier bass. Yeah. In terms of actual detail, it's really hard to say which one's better. It's almost like just like it's like picking out straws, you know?
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had that much detail.
Oh, which one? You mean like the FLCS?
Yeah, your old IEMs had that much detail.
Oh, yeah, a lot of detail. Yeah. I mean, because they're a clear step up from the VSonics 007. And the 07 at that time was the best IEMs I've ever tried. But these are a clear step up from that. but same type of good balance though. And then yeah.
Yeah, I feel the ThieAudio is pretty
It's good. They're good.
good for the price. Yeah.
They're good. Yeah, just too bad. I wish I had the Novos here just to compare one more time. Yeah, it would have been interesting.
Yeah, I think Nobles would have been better, but it's not. But I don't think it was like that much better where it's like double the price.